Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here over at Arkansas, my aunt and uncle's farm on vacation. I thought I'd showcase some chainsaws for you. We're going to get into them on the specs and what I think of them and everything. And we're going to even test them out a little bit. So let's get right into it. Alright guys, so we're going to start out with the smallest to the biggest and kind of give a background on them and why I bought them. So we'll start with the smaller one here. This is the Echo 2511T. It's a 25cc top handle saw. I call it the one-hand saws because you can, basically use them one-handed even though you're not supposed to. But this is a really good saw. I picked it up this year. I mainly got it because that's really the only saw I needed. Because I started out with that one. I got this one as my second one. So this works great for just doing small jobs, taking on the bush trimming jobs for where the hedge trimmer can't clip through it. I really like it. On all the Echo stuff you can use this pull cord handle and put it in these caps to loosen them if they get super tight. Everything's where it needs to be at. It has a primer bulb right there, your choke, your air filter, super easy to get to, and a super easy one nut chain, or only one nut to adjust the chain tension. And then you got this roller here, which makes it real nice if you're just trying to cut a straight line. So like if you want to cut a board or something, you can do that pretty easy with this thing. One gripe about it, it doesn't have the forks to where you stab it into the log to get some more power out of the saw. But other than that, it's a really good saw. I love it. It's super powerful. It's basically a 2620 engine and a chainsaw that weighs 6 freaking pounds. So it's super light. I love that saw. Picked that one up for about like $450 beginning of the year. If you're starting to landscape and you're looking for a chainsaw, that's the chainsaw you need. That's probably the only chainsaw you will need. But I'm a bit of a collector, so hence why I got more. So moving on, I actually just picked this one up today. This is the Echo CS35 5T. I tested it out just a couple seconds ago. It's a really great saw. That has a 12-inch bar on it. This one also has a 12-inch bar on it, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a 14, but I'm pretty sure it's a 12. This thing is awesome. So it's 30cc, I think even 35cc actually. So basically more than an Echo 3020T power-wise for you guys that have weed eaters and want like a kind of comparison. But everything's nice. Same as that one. Everything's at where it needs to be. Again, you can use this handle to open these up for when they get tight. You got your oil and your gas, chain brake. I really like this system versus this and this. You have your choke and your kill and on switch all in one thing. Now that is probably, if it goes wrong, it's probably more of a pain in the ass to fix. But other than that, it's good. It feels really comfortable in the hand. This one's about 8 pounds versus 6. But it's not too bad. I think I'll get used to it. But man, is this thing powerful. Holy crap. This one's actually cheaper than this one. This one was around like $350, $375. So this one was actually cheaper than that one, and you're getting more power out of it. Now it is heavier. Maybe that's why it's not as expensive, but I mean it's a really good saw. I'd recommend this to a homeowner, honestly. I mean it's not as bulky as these two-handed saws. This is a really great saw right here. But moving on, this is the first saw I bought last year. This is the Echo CS590 Timberwolf. It has a 18-inch bar. I love this thing. It's a beast. I picked it up for about like $475, I believe. But it's a really good saw. This is basically a 59cc, but I'd consider it in a 60cc class. It's kind of like the prosumer saw. It's a homeowner saw to compete compete with like the Stihl Farm Boss, but it's really a good saw. It has pro features, but you'll see like on these true pro saws, you know, you have the, you know, replaceable nose on the bar. This one doesn't, although you can get one with it. So you got the you know, little forks there to punch into the wood, as well as this one, except they're really tiny. Didn't mention that. I love that. But for a two-handed saw, this isn't heavy for the power you get out of it. It is really powerful. You could probably run a 20-inch or a 24-inch bar with this thing easy, and I think they offer a 24-inch bar for it. So, but this works great. This is the first saw I bought with my own money. Before I had my dad's pool on, which obviously wasn't breaking. But yeah, I mean, this was, if I only had to get one saw, it'd probably be one of those two. This is a little bit too big for what I was like doing on a regular basis, but it does come in handy to do like the overgrown shrubs, to do them in less of a swath, you know, than, you know, doing them with these two, you know. But I do some big tree, cut down some smaller trees or cut up some bigger trees when a customer asks. I don't personally fell trees that are super large just because of liability, but I do use this and it does make me money. But a really good saw right there. This one is very similar to that 590. This is the Echo CS620P. This is a 60cc saw, like right at 60 cc's, or might be 62, I don't know. It's like right at 60 cc. It's basically the same exact motor. It just has a better ignition system, like coil. It's more, you know, pro grade. You know, then you got some magnesium housings, I think, as well, if I remember correctly. I mean, you can just tell it's you know, made for the prosumer. That one there only has one fork. This one has two for both sides, which I personally like. Has a longer bar. You can get a shorter and a longer bar. I believe this is an 18-inch. Oh no, that is an 18. I think this is like a 20-inch or 22-inch. I don't know for sure, but it has the replaceable front nose there. I bought this one this year for around $670, mainly because, honestly, one, I just wanted it. It is kind of a toy, basically, but also two, I use it. It had a longer bar on it, so I just used it, you know, for the overgrown hedges, which now I use that one because I can just basically do them in one swath, because people in my, you know, area only want their bushes trimmed once a year, so they get, you know, hedge trimmer can't cut them. But yeah, I mean, this one's great. I've used it for cutting up firewood and whatnot, but really good saw. I'd honestly recommend this, you know. I'd recommend this one or this one, you know, to the, you know, farm/ranch users. These two would be perfect. And then, you know, your smaller saw for your, you know, around the house kind of stuff. But moving on to the big boy. I bought this one this year, just a few weeks ago. This is the biggest saw Echo makes. It's a CS7310 73cc. Has the 32-inch bar. So it's a big boy. And man, is this thing powerful. Way more of a saw than I really need, but I bought it kind of for shits and giggles. Because I just, you know, I like chainsaws. It's sort of like my hobby almost. I just like, you know, chainsaws. But this is 73cc. Like I said, everything's where it needs to be. This is like, you know, the top of the line saw Echo will make at the moment. That one used to be the biggest one there. But, you know, just the, you know, the feel to it. When you squeeze the trigger, it's smooth. At first I almost thought this was like an electronic saw, but, you know, like electronic, you know, throttle EFI, but it's not. It's just, you know, super smooth. Chain brakes, you know, super smooth. It's similar to all the rest over there. You know, you got your gas, your oil right there. I kind of spilled some oil, so I made a mess. Replaceable front end. on there. This is a really top of the line saw, magnesium housings, you know, for the clutch and everything. They do make a full wrapped one, which I wish I got, but it is what it is. I'm not using this like every day, obviously. I just use these three right here for, you know, doing the overgrown hedges that people want cut back and just doing them in one swath. But yeah, I really like it. This one was expensive though, and man, the prices went up on them. Beginning of the year, they're like $800. When I picked this one up a few weeks ago, it was like $1,100. So like I said in other videos, everything's going up, guys. So I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's a really cool saw. I'm glad I got it. Like I said, if you're doing landscaping like I am, you don't need really these two saws. You can get away with your Timberwolf and then one of those two for like the smaller stuff. If you're looking to seriously buy a saw for landscaping, you don't need these two unless you're doing tree work. Get a Timberwolf and get a, you know, 3030T or a 2511T or whatever that one is. Honestly, you could probably do just fine with those, one of those two, and then have a saw with a long bar for your overgrown hedges. But you know, these are really overkill. Like I said, I didn't, you know, these two aren't a great business decision. I just bought these as, you know, a toy basically, and I still use them. They still make me money, which is kind of a plus. So because I obviously didn't buy them just to, you know, sit around not doing anything. I want to use them. So but anyway, let's get these things running. Like I said, well, I didn't say this yet, I have not sharpened the chains on any of these. The only ones that are sharp is basically this one and that one, because I basically picked that one up today. The rest of these have not been sharpened, those three. So that one cuts like crap right now, I can tell you, because it's, the chain's been in the dirt, it's been hitting rocks, because it's just been beating the crap out of it this season. So this isn't really going to be a fair cutting performance test. It's just going to be, you know, seeing them run and seeing how they do. But this thing, when it has a sharp chain, will cut through anything. So I'll probably get another video out with that one with a sharp chain. I just don't have time to sharpen it right now. But anyway, let's get into some cutting videos. Alright guys, we're about to test out this 2511T. Now this thing does have a really dull chain, like I said. Maybe y'all can see it there if the camera will focus. But it's really dull, so this thing is not going to cut great at all. It's just more to show you, you know, how it runs and everything. Probably going to say I'm doing a horrible job with this one. It's going to look completely bad on my part. But just to show y'all, just to show it running for y'all and everything. If you buy one of these, I'm telling you, this is probably the most valuable chainsaw you can buy on the market. It cuts great with a sharp chain. It'll cut through basically anything. And it's very similar to the 355T over there, which we'll test out next. But here, I'll just show it running for y'all, and we'll move on to the next one. We'll start. Not good. Needs a new sharp chain. This is the CS 355T. This one has a sharp chain on it because it's brand new. This is going to be very similar to the 2511T. You know, how this thing cuts is basically how the 2511T cuts. I know that one didn't have sharp chains, so it didn't really cut too great. But what this one does will basically be what the 2511T does. The only difference is, you know, this one's got more power, so it's really going to hold, you know, through the tougher wood. It's not going to bog down as much. But that 2511T is still a monster. So, well, let's see how this one does. know, faster than some of those bigger saws I got, the two-handed ones. Give or take, it does have a shorter bar on it. But I mean, this thing is pretty freaking powerful. So what I said earlier, you know, if you're a homeowner, this is probably all you need if you just want one saw that's maneuverable and is powerful. Same story with the 2511T. You can get away with either this one or that one. And you don't have to have one saw and it's maneuverable. You can one-hand it. You can even double as a home self-defense weapon if you want to. So there's that. All right, guys. Next up is a CS590. Let's see how she does. That was pretty good, and that chain isn't really too sharp. I don't know when the last time I sharpened it was, so did a pretty good job, the CS590. All right, now I got the CS20P, very similar to the CS590P, just a different coil, longer bar, more professional grade saw. Let's see how it does. There we go. This was one of the newer saws I bought this year, and it hasn't had too much use on it. So pretty good sharp chain, and it did a really good job. I don't know why it's smoking, probably because there's oil right there. But this is a good saw. I think this has a 24-inch bar on it, and it's in the 62, 60 cc range, so a little bit more. I think the same engine, just there's more stuff that makes it a little bit bigger cubic centimeters wise. So basically very, very similar to the CS590 motor and chainsaw. But it works great. I'd really recommend this saw. It cuts great. This is the CS7310P, okay? The big hoss. This thing's overkill. It's probably gonna take 2 seconds, but let's see what it does. Air choke on, chain brake. As you can see, this thing's a monster. Sounds like a monster, and is as heavy as a monster. This thing's a really good saw. I probably recommend it. Obviously if you're a lumberjack doing it for a living, or maybe if you have a chainsaw mill, this would probably be a great saw, as well as the 620 PW over there, the PW 620. Both are great options for that. That's what I'd recommend it for. Cuts great. Obviously it's brand freaking new. But yeah, it's a really good saw. Sounds good, cuts good, feels good, and yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the chainsaw review video. I know it's probably hard to hear with the wind, possibly. probably try my best to, you know, work with the pellet I got here as a camera support. But hopefully it turned out good. Probably the view wasn't as great as I'd hoped, but you know, I'm working on it. But anyway, some more videos will be coming in the future, especially on Old Blue. This isn't my truck, that's my dad's truck, so that's his build. But you know, my truck's in the shop right now, so I'm having to, you know, drive my mom's 4Runner around, or my dad's truck around, which we're over at Arkansas right now. But I'll be doing a review on my truck soon, because I still love that truck, but some stuff's came up I want to make y'all aware about if y'all have the same, you know, year model truck as I do. But hopefully I'll get that video out soon. It should be fixed today, but I'm 4 hours away from home, so that video will have to wait for a little bit till I get home. But more videos will be coming soon on, you know, reviews and all sorts of fun stuff. Just stay tuned, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see y'all in the next one.